Initial reports were that the fire to this clubhouse at this condo complex was on the west side of the structure. It had spread to the east side of the structure. It's a pretty long distance to get all the way back here to the back, so we had crews have to lay about 800 feet worth of supply line to get here, and then they had to lay what's called a horizontal standpipe to get to the fire. So by the time they got here, it gave the fire some time to really get going. We actually watched it flash when we first got here, which is when everything on the inside reaches its ignition temperature at the same time. We didn't have anybody on the inside. Flashover conditions are the most dangerous conditions for us, but we didn't have anybody in the interior at the time. It is a clubhouse, so no life safety profile was very low. Crews still did a quick search, and now they're still putting water on the fire at this time.
That was going to be my next question. You're amongst a bunch of condos, but because it's in a clubhouse, in a way, did you know right away there were probably no lives inside this at all?
Yeah, and even before we got water on the fire, listening to the radio traffic coming in, we had crews that were able to get a quick search on the inside, so they knew that there was no life safety profile on the inside.
Okay. In a situation like that, when that happens, and you have a flash like that, what's your guys' attack on it after that?
Well, initially you want to start putting water into the ceiling even before you see any fire, just to try to cool those conditions if you're on the interior, because when a fire flashes, if you're on the inside, you're going to reach your ignition temperature well. So our gear can catch on fire. You have about 10-15 seconds to get yourselves out in those conditions. So in this one, again, with no life safety, they obviously still want to get the fire out, but we don't put our people on the interior of those conditions until we can control them a little bit from the outside.
Because it is a clubhouse, and I believe a laundry room as well, obviously so early that you guys even haven't had a chance to understand what started this at all. What's the first thing you guys look at when you have something like this where there are nobody actually staying in a place like this?
Well, we go through our risk management profile, which will say risk a lot, save a lot. So meaning we'll absolutely put ourselves in those conditions, in that situation, if we know that there are lives on the inside. And this, when we get to, we're going to risk things in a calculated response for savable property. So we know that there is some savable property in there, but we're not going to put our firefighters at risk. So smart, controlled attack on the inside was the way that they decided to fight this fire.
Okay. As far as the initial call, do we know anything about the initial call? Was it just the call of a fire? Someone saw it, or?
I have none of that information.
Okay.
This is how the 911 call actually came in.
Okay.